So, hi everyone. For a long time I didn't stream, but now I will try to stream more regularly. So, today we would adjust some config, I guess, and we will try to continue on this neovim feature that I currently working on. So let's see how far we get. So let's see first issues, check health, vim deprecated. Okay, set level instead. So let's search for this part. My config. Log set level. Should be enough, I guess. So what do we have else here? Semantic token stuff. I think that's here. Okay, for that part we have to change this to this. Right, let's see if we still get issues. Yeah. What was that? Oh, actually, this was wrong. Vim LSP semantic tokens enable. Right, so here we will say we enable. So with the client we check for the support of semantic tokens, right? And if this is true, so if the client supports semantic tokens, then we set this property LSP, Vim LSP semantic tokens. Then we say enable, and then we get the options that we can set here. Actually, let's see in the helps. Semantic tokens, right? So we would have the filter here. So client ID could be set. So let's do this part here. So we enable it for the client ID, right? And we have the client ID. Should be it. Let's see if this works. Yeah, seems like it. So, and yeah, you already see it. I got a second cam, so I thought I will try a little bit a different setup. So you see me typing and see my keyboard. So that way maybe it's a little bit more fun to to watch, but yeah, we will see. Like that. Okay. So this seems to work, right? See that other deprecations. Client notifies deprecated. Use client notify. Okay. Another way to write it. Client notify. Where is this? Lazy dev LSP Lua. So okay, yeah, that's fine. I think that's on lazy dev plugin. Then we have Vim validate. This is in the overseer. Do we have else? That's it actually. Lazy overseer, lazy Lua line, telescope. Let's actually see lazy dev. Yeah, I think that's fine for now. I think the rest will be resolved. Let's see if we have anything we can update currently. Oh no. Be fine. Then let's jump straight to our new feature. Yeah. Where did we left off? I think here I had this issue in old tests. So here try to run make old test. And it fails because now here this assert fail call, we tried to execute 3.5, but now it's interpreted as a proper range, right? So therefore it's not throwing this, not an editor command error. But let's see, what do we try to test here? Test execute string. So we try to check for this error here. If has float. It's actually this float. As float. What's this for a feature? I don't know this one. Float. Float E values to copy paste. So useful values, or if you don't want to write them in as floating point literals, you can also use functions like the following. I don't think this is the right thing? Not. It's this one. Floating point number. So I guess my issue is I don't know Vim script at all. Has feature returns 1 if a feature is supported, otherwise the feature argument is a feature name like. See, returns 1 if a feature is supported, 0 otherwise. The feature argument is a feature name. So if the code has syntax errors, then Vim script may skip the rest of the line. Put if and end if on a separate lines to avoid the syntax errors. So okay, this are this compile time features. Vim's compile time feature names prefixed with plus are not recognized because nvim is always compiled with all possible features. Feature names can be in Vim version, for example, this runtime condition or other pseudo features, for example, the Win32 feature. Check if the current system is Windows. List of supported pseudo feature names. Okay, Vim patch, for example, the patch 123 feature means that Vim patch 123 at the current version was included. Vim version. Okay. But I guess this is that, so we can look at this or something. Run nvim v1 minus v, and then grab load. No, nothing in there. Command did not fail. So let's search again for this part here. I'm actually not sure what we are really testing here, to be honest. So we have here test execute function. Execute function. Test execute string. Execute something, right? So when we have float feature, let's maybe just search for that vim float vim features. So compile time features. How can I view a list of all features that can be checked by using has in vim? Feature list. It's listed. Just for information, not every possible thing that can be checked with has is listed in each feature list. This mostly document things that may differ according to different choices done when vim has been compiled and what system is targets. The documentation in help has a pointer to the features it can check for. So let's do this one maybe. Yes, right. So, oh, we were here before, so this is nothing new. C also exists. So do we have here? We have here execute. So obviously has float is true for neovim. This one should fail, but it does not. Let's see, execute. Executes the command and captures its output. Hmm. So let's just remove this part. I think it's not needed anymore. Let's just test that. Not 100% sure on this one, but yeah. So this are other tests that fail. So let's search for this one. We have here 9.6. So is this right? From here, I guess 6 downwards. Assert equal. Expected last, but got list is a list with a list of a last. What? Normal mode. I don't even know what this should do, to be honest. Test gn, then gn. So gn is set the current cursor position. No, like gn, but search backward. Okay, and gn is search forward for last used search. Okay. So we do a set line number text. Let's remove this. Okay, so set this on line 1. Search for list. And we do a backward search. 1, 2, 3. So this would be like this one, then go back, go back, go back, go back. 1, 2, 3, go back. But this one is here, which is failing. Let me see again. Line 6, expect last but got list is a list with a list of a last. So add this. What is the add command again? Execute the contents of a register. Okay. And register. Registers. This is not what I'm searching for. This is maybe High sensation black. Mir geht's gut, danke der Nachfrage. Aber die andere Frage checke ich nicht. Und was ist? Was meinst du damit? Registers. Should be some special registers, right? Unnamed registers. Numbered. The small delete register. The unnamed register. Unnamed. Here it is. So unnamed register, first this register with the text deleted. Oh, this is this. Yeah, I already forgot this one. Don't use that too much, to be honest. We use the contents of unnamed register for any put command. So delete text deleted with D, C, S, and X command. So when we go back here, so what we do is actually we search for this, right? From here. Then we go into this. Go this, go this, go this, go this. But it highlights everything, right? Like GN. Search forward for last used search pattern like N and start visual mode to select the match. If the cursor is on the match, visually select it. If an operator is pending, operates on the match. The GN deletes the text of the next match. So GNX. If visual mode is active, extend the selection until the end of the next match. Okay, but this is actually what happens here, right? After the first GN. So it jumps to the, so we set the line here, right? We write this, the whole thing here, this here in the first line, and then we got to the end of the line with this one, and then we do GN, 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 because we search here, and we search backward, which is 1, 2 times, which would hit this one the first time, the second time, and then we search forward and we actually delete with X this part here. So if I search for last from here and I do GNX, it deletes the match. Okay. But in our case, with micron changes, it seems like it does not delete the match, but selects the whole line except the last character. Let's just open a new buffer and write it there, right? So then we go here, so it's everything from where the cursor is except the current cursor position, because the point is not selected here. Oh gosh, I didn't know where even to search for this change, to be honest. GNX. G is a global command, so it needs to be somewhere in the somewhere here. If I said no. Where was that? I thought I had marks for that, but it seems that they somehow get overridden. Let's close this one, close this one. And command. So we have actually most of the tests related to the same problem. the, where did we have the modifications? See the history. X2 commands, are this X commands? Global command is next command, right? So maybe in normal C, let's just see in the normal C. Normal execute. Do we have a global or something here? $G command. Like dollar, but for screen lines. $G command. G command. So this should be it. This is the function it should be called when we do GN. Right. This one. GN. Don't have a GN here. GI. GD. Come on, G. So this is the command to execute, right? Which one would be here? The N. GR. GV. GN. Oh, this is one. GN. Visualize select next previous search match. Current search. If not current search, then clear up beep. So this means we're going in here and just do this part. It's not current search. Find next search match under cursor. Cursor at end. Used while an operator is pending and in visual mode. Forward true for forward, false for backward. So this is what gets executed, right? Red cursor. And searching forward, and the cursor is at the start of the visual area. Skip the first search backward. So this is search C. Let me just quickly. Oh gosh. No. Here. So let's go back. See if we have some changes here. Let's see, get the view log, the view file history. So where did we change stuff here? Oh, actually, let's go. It's the wrong one. I wanna do this here. My X command for this file. No. Okay. So when did we change stuff? So I did changes here. Okay. So this was the change that I made. All right. Max column. This change. Line 682. 682. Let's check here. So what did I changed? And position is equal null, and line number is equal and position line number. Stop column. I guess I will take the same approach that I changed here for the exchange calculation. So let's just copy this part. Add it here. Oops. What I'm selecting here, so this part here. So we have a start column. When we are at the first line and options search column set. Here we check for the end position. Is that mouse pad with Vim shortcuts? No, it's Linux commands. Actually. But this would be a good idea to have this also for Vim shortcuts. On your Vim commands, stuff like that. So basics, right? Because sometimes I forget the basics also. Yeah, thanks. Got it as a present to one of my birthdays. And welcome to the stream. I'm Fossey. Yep. So yeah, one of us. How long do you use it already? Oh, a year. Okay. So yeah, maybe when I'm in the future get to finish this feature, maybe you will be also happy to see this one merged. I'm not sure if you experienced this already, but sometimes when you select stuff and you want to do, let's say, a pipe into a bash command or something, you see that not the selection is passed through the pipe, right? But the whole lines. So actually not what you currently see selected will be passed to, let's say, echo, but the whole lines. And what I'm trying to implement is that we get the charwise selection possibility. So it's when you really select charwise chunks here, that this is what is passed to the commands instead of line-wise. Because I sometimes find it confusing that this is done line-wise instead of char-wise when you select stuff. And also in the future, not only for the char-wise but for the block-wise selection too, so that we can actually pass this part only what we selected. But this is step 2, so first step would be to implement the char-wise selection. But this is surprisingly complicated to me, at least, as a not C guy and yeah, not that familiar with the whole code base of neovim. Yeah, it's kind of fixes a usability issue, I would say. So at least for me, it's a non-expecting behavior. When you select stuff with visual selection and do something, you would expect that what you're now doing, like executing any of the commands, right, that it actually do the stuff on what you're selected, like this one. So how to say that, this range is here, what you see below are line wise, so only the line numbers are passed, not the columns that I just visually selected. And in the new feature you should be able to do this one, and if you execute now a command with this backticks instead of this one, right, you get also the columns passed to the command, so you know then exactly in that command which area you selected. You will be surprised. Let's try it out. That's maybe easier demonstrated here if I do stuff like this, right? And let's say it works for different commands, but maybe it's easier to explain with one easy command. So let's say we have this, right? And you wanna do base 64 encoding of that. you see, actually, if I select this and I do base 64, it does this for the whole line, which is not, for me, it's not like a nice user experience, because actually this here means that that only the line numbers are passed to the bang, and the bang kind of copies the whole lines and put it through the pipe, and the base 64 gets only the whole lines passed, so it translates the whole lines instead of only the selection. And this is only for the bang command example, but you can take any other command which works on ranges, and it will work the same. So even if you selected just a tiny bit of the text, the whole lines will be passed. So if you have here more than this, let's say, let's assume this, right? And you would just select, I don't know, this part here, and you want to mess with this part only of the text. You want to do something with it. Then let's say you echo test, right? You replace the whole lines, not only the selection. And this is what I try to implement, that the selected text is passed to the commands. And if you then get a response, like you get the output from the command, that only the selected lines will be replaced, not the whole lines. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. But I hope you get it from the examples. And there is maybe also a better way to explain that. Actually, going to the GitHub. Oh, I'm not signed in here. And let's see. Neovim GitHub. Right. Pull requests. Search for me. Yeah, I referenced here. This is what I'm kind of talking about. Let me put it in. So if you're interested, you can just read it up. There is more to that. Also custom commands. You then be able to pass ranges with column included, and also write stuff like this. And which means here that you have a range starting from the line 1, column 2, and it ends on column 2, and line 2, column 2. Yeah, that only applies for substitute and search commands. What do you mean? Yeah, with the V, big V. But the idea would be maybe in the future that you could just select stuff. Well, let me see what you meant before with this. So an example of, I think, what you mean. Substitute line. Do a G for global. It will replace the entire line and not just what you selected, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, we will see. But this is kind of the feature. So most of the stuff works, like the basic things. I already wrote some small tests. But it seems like in some cases I broke the behavior, the old behavior. And yeah, that's where I'm currently in, trying to fix the stuff that I broke, actually. So this would be this one. Right. So we loop over the line numbers. Do we have a buffer set here anywhere? So we have the buffer and the position. Line number, position, we loop over the line numbers. So it mean actually buffer and line number. So that we get the stop column. So let's try this out. Should be already fixing it. No. So just to test this out. So when end position is not null, then end position is set. So then we check end position line number. If we are on the end positions line number, we set the stop column to this. Column. And paint position column figure 0. Let's try this out. Do you have any particularly cool workflows? It depends. What languages do you write in mainly? Or to put it other way around, if you're writing, oh, you're writing C++, okay. Then I'm out of luck, I guess. If you're writing in C# or sometimes using C#, I may have one thing that could be interesting for you. For C++, not sure, to be honest. But maybe, do you how was this tool called? Let me see. The other thing I'm sometimes working on is this build server protocol implementation for neovim. Let's see. I think there is implementations. Yeah, that's it. So if you use Bazel sometime, maybe for C++, this could be a thing then. So this is basically the implementation from me, which is kind of in alpha. But what it does is basically implementing LSP-like protocol for build tools. So if you ever thought that make command is kind of nice, but you would like to have it more sophisticated, like with a little bit more features, then build server protocol could be something for you. Yeah, maybe I can show just a little bit. So it's not fully implemented and not fully workable for all the languages. because there are not that many implementations. You see most of the things here, build servers are for like Kotlin, using Bazel, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Blub, Mill, SBT, and stuff like that. Java, Rust. This one is also not fully implemented, so work in progress, as you see. And yeah, there are some of them, and I'm writing also a build server for C#, which is not listed here. But what it does, let me just show you. Let's see, .NET BSP. So if you have a base, a code base like this with C#, and you want to build a target, this is actually key binding. So I want to compile, and it lists me for me the targets that I can compile. For .NET, it's mostly solution or CS project targets, and I can just select one, and it compiles. And if it gets any compile errors or warnings, it opens a quick fix list for that. This is one thing that you could do with that. The other thing is there are more commands, you can discover them. You can run tests or test cases. You can run the application actually from there. So using this build server protocol, it's kind of a LSP but for build tools. So you don't really have to remember the basic commands to run tests, run the application, compile the application. You can do this with these commands. And then, yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's basically it. There's also an endpoint for debugging, so you can just run a debug session, which is using then DAP protocol. Yeah, stuff like that. You can have a look. You're one of these guys. Yeah, okay, I understand. Yep, but this is also a thing I'm working. Vim's line autocompletion. Not really. Depends what you mean. I use line autocompletion. No, I guess I don't use this one. Okay. Insert mode, yeah. Like Control X and stuff. Ah, okay, yeah, I know. No. Yeah, okay. No, I don't really use this one, to be honest. I even lately started to use Copilot. So yes, I added it where I can then press Control F when hovered over a match, and it will bring up a telescope search for all line searches. But I have a different one, but which I actually got from TJ, which is pretty handy. He has a video on YouTube about that, how to configure it. Is when you grab search like that, right? And you're searching, let's say, for global. And then what I often find myself lacking at that feature here, to be able to filter only specific files. And this is possible when you extend it a little bit. And TJ did it with 2 spaces, and I just did the same. And what you can do now is writing a glob and like this, and say I want only to consider Lua files for the match, and it only search in Lua files for global. This is really a game changer. I think this is really nice one. So yeah, it's from TJ, as I said. So creds goes to him, definitely. When I saw this video, I just thought this is exactly what I was looking for a while. And yeah. Yeah, I do use it sometimes, especially for stuff like this. So when I search for something and I want to have a look at different, like at all these matches, and yeah, sometimes I do this, like putting it in a quick fix list and then go over it, like with this bracket and Q, and this kind of going through the list, right? Jumping over and looking where the matches are, stuff like that sometimes. Yeah. Oh, but this one is not written in Lua, right? But I will have a look on this one. But I found it, so it's fine. Thanks. Yeah, I guess there are alternatives also written in Lua maybe. I find it like also easier to understand just if you have to tweak it a little bit or stuff like that. I just don't understand Vim script at all. So Lua is just easier to read and write, I guess. Yeah, Lua is just easier and near on the languages that we already know, I guess, just more C-like. So, but I still kind of messed up this thing here. Let me just try this. I don't use Harpoon, to be honest. This is on my maybe list when I have time to look into it. Yeah, I sometimes starting to use just markers and try to using them. I know Harpoon has some benefits over that, but I thought I start with this basics and then maybe look into the Harpoon. Oil and Vim. Yeah, this one is nice, but currently I also have it on my maybe in the future list. Don't need this too often to manipulate multiple files at once. But when I would need to, this would be a really nice one. It has a nice workflow, I guess. Yeah. Nice remap you might like. Yeah, let me know. Set wrap. Oh, this one is nice, yeah. Especially for log files. This one I will take, thank you. I will write it to my configuration. Yeah, I actually have the line wrap on, so it's sometimes nice to disable it, especially for logs, as I said. So if I have, let's say, BSP logs, right? You see this is on by default, and sometimes, especially for logs, it's sometimes nice to disable that. So that wrap like this, right? So it would be nice. So I will put this in my configuration. Also, as a maybe, I need to think about that because I'm not often need this, and so sometimes for stuff like this. Let me just add you to do. And so like this. Standard out. What do we have here? So we have error. Segmentation fault. Core dumped. Okay. So okay, yeah, because I didn't check here for null. Okay, sometimes it's null here. Makes sense. So I have to keep this check in. I don't know actually. I think I had it. Let me see. Also, this one I get also from TJ. This is kind of find files, but only in the neovim config folder. So you can easily modify your configuration. It's also a nice mapping. So here, not sure how to search for this one. Paste without losing in the register. Yeah, sometimes I find myself doing too often typing like stuff like this. Right. And then I saw some of TJ's videos, and then he had introduced this key binding. And also he had a key binding for searching files in all the plugins that you installed for neovim, which is also kind of handy. But this one I didn't actually took over, so I took over only this searching in the neovim config folder, which is pretty handy, and I use it quite a lot. Yeah, I think I don't have this remap anymore. I used it for a while. But maybe if you say which remap do you use for that, maybe I can search if I find it in my configuration. But yeah, I often do that I'm just if I yank something like this, like you said, hi, right? I do yank it in a specific register. So a named one, an A or in stuff like that. So I just yank it in one of the registers. And what I'm then doing is just when I paste it from this register. and then I don't really care for overriding in this unnamed register, right? So Emily, hello. Oh, come on, Emily. I know that stuff already. So your headphones are broken and you try to sell me stuff. Thank you. No, thank you. I just give you a timeout. Oh, leader P. It was leader P on your side. Nightbot just thinks you're just throwing wild characters in the chat. Yes, he's not neovim aware. Nah, it's just that you're the only one who writes, and yeah, he just thinks you're spamming me. So I don't have anything for leader P, so I can DP. Oops. No. Yeah, but I used this one, I guess. So it sounds familiar to me, so. Backslash is my leader key. Yeah, I use space for other stuff. So I have a leader key on backspace because this is also like here, and I use it often. I have also a custom mapping on my keyboard. So if I find it, I don't think I can find it that fast. So, but yeah. Moonlander ZSA. Let me see. They have here configuring. And yeah, I have to leave for a couple of minutes to help my wife with her computer. Let me just say that ZSA config configurator. Let me search for them. Search layouts. No, I don't think I find my. Don't even know how it was named. Something like this. I don't know anymore. Linux. So maybe I'll look it up for the next stream. Oryx. This is software, web application for ZSA keyboards. So my is the Moonlander. They have more of them. So the new one is Voyager, which is also quite nice. And they have like tools. And Oryx is the configurator. This is a web configurator for kind of manipulating the keyboard setup. But as I said, I have to leave for 1 or 2 minutes. Be right back. So I'm back. So, in regards of keyboard, I'm currently trying to build. Oh yeah, thank you, Phil, and welcome to my stream. Actually, oh, I have this keyboard now for 4 or 5 years, I guess, something like that. But I'm currently building one, or like myself, ductile maniform. Just need to wire up the whole stuff. Maybe I do it also on stream. Not sure about this. I have like bought already everything, so I need just let me find that stuff here. So, all the PCBs, which actually are cool ones, which you don't need to. I don't know if you see this. So they are you kind of just put them in and to work, and they fit in, so you don't need to how does it called in English? Just yeah, it's just easier to put them in, and also have this guys on both ends. So this would look like this is the one side of it. I just used the old key maps, not key maps, keycaps, keycaps from my moon lander, because I bought other pack here without actual signs on it. So, and both sides would have trackballs. Would you recommend this ergonomic keyboards? Have you felt any significant benefits? Actually, yes. I would always recommend one. So they are different out there, and everyone needs to find his keyboard which he likes, because everyone has a different taste. But I would definitely say a split keyboard is really, really nice. And also mechanical switches is just the best. So flashing out 2 balls on stream. Yeah. Kind of nerdy. Nerdy dirty, right? Yeah. I didn't try Kinesis, this new one, which is also split. But yeah. The only thing I miss on this keyboard is like that the keys are not in this rounded position. So as I have here, it's kind of has this rounding here. So I want to try this out, how it feels. I just imagine it just a little bit nicer to type on. But else, I really like this keyboard. It's really nice, and I I don't regret that I bought it. So, and this is really a big difference. Many people who never tried like this ergonomic keyboards, including myself, think like it's not a big of a difference, but it is really. And also the nice thing about this keyboard, and I think many others too, is that you can, let's see this configurator that I meant before. So you can have multiple layers. Oh, let's see it. Let's switch to Moonlander. So you have here multiple layers, and you can program the which key you want to hold or double tap to switch to another layer. and stuff like that. And you can just also configure mouse movements, mouse buttons, and stuff like that. Media keys, I have media keys on my keyboard, so I can do louder and stuff. Cool, there's so many designs out there, so I've felt kind of overwhelmed by the choice and just stuck with what I'm familiar with. Yeah, it is hard to choose actually, but depending on the money you want to spend, I would say Moonlander or maybe the Voyager, depending on if you like it to be minimalistic. I actually find it, I'm not sure, maybe I need to try this out, but for me it has just two less keys. I do like more keys here, even if I don't use all of them that often. Just like the possibility that I can map more keys and use them. And there is also what was this called? The other one. I don't remember. There is something Kinesis my keyboard. Let me see. Glove 80, this was it, yeah. So Kinesis is a really expensive one, so but Glove 80 is a little bit cheaper. But I heard also a lot of good things about this one. But didn't check it out. So one colleague of mine bought one. So, and he will maybe the next days take it to the office so I can put my hands on it. So maybe next stream I can say how it feels to type on it. But yeah. And this has this rounded thing what I mentioned before. This is what I really like to test how it feels. But yeah, we'll see. But here we're still having the issue on this test. Got completely distracted now, yeah. But it's fine. I actually don't know how to debug this old test. So for the new functional test for neovim, I know how to run the debugger. I don't know for the old tests. Let me just maybe test this. I tried to to find really where the issue lies. If this is really on this change here that I introduced, or somewhere else. Diff view history current file. Let me just go quickly over the changes that I did there. So, but this could be also that it's just here because I changed also the vim regex multi behavior. Right. And stop column. Okay, this part. Check later on. So this didn't change anything. So let's go back. Jump history. Let's move this back. How long have I been using neovim? How much time have you spent modifying it to your liking? Yeah, I'm actually not sure how long I really use it on daily basis. I think so 2 or 3 years now. But most of the time I'm not modifying my configuration. I did at the beginning more like adjusting and playing around, but yeah, lately I just update it from time to time when I have to, and yeah, trying to focus more on other stuff, like this plugin that I'm actually currently writing when I have time. So this feature for neovim that I'm currently trying to implement is one of my things from my to-do list, and the second one is actually let me see, GitHub. This one. So there are actually two of them. One is BSP neovim, which is the implementation for build server protocol, the client side. And the other thing that I'm currently working on is the .NET BSP server, which kind of is the other part of this BSP neovim plugin. The server which is used through this plugin, or I'm talking to this one. So this is basically because I'm most of the time write C#, and yeah, it's kind of the make command from neovim, but with a little bit more features, I would say. So if you have time and you like to check out new things, so check out the official BSP server protocol site. This was initially started from the JetBrains folks and Scala people. It's a nice concept, but it's not that widely used currently. Yeah, we'll see. I hope it gets more attraction in the future. Yeah, there's also for Java people. I don't know if you write any Java. There is also this server Gradle. It's called Gradle Microsoft BSP. They have official build server for Gradle. So this is official from Microsoft and for Java. So if you use neovim and you're writing Java stuff, yeah, please check out this BSP nvim plugin from me. It's in the early stage, but you can use it. File bugs, make suggestions, make pull requests if you like. But when you're in the trying out phase, which language you're currently writing, or which languages do trying out or did in the past? Let me stop column. So jump back, we have this regex multi, BT regex mult, and NFA regex. Let me find out again. There was a. So I remember this one. There were two engines for regex. So Vim includes two regular expression engines, an old backtracking engine that supports everything, a new NFA engine that works much faster on some patterns, possibly slower on some other patterns. Vim will automatically select the right engine for you. However, if you run into a problem or want to specify select one engine or the other, you can prepend one of the following two patterns. You can also use select option to change the default. So set 0 and 0 automatic selection. Okay. I started programming and studying CS 1 year ago. We had one introduction semester that was based on Python. And last semester we had OOP with Java. So right now I'm the most familiar with Java, I would say, but I presume we're going to get introduced to more stuff in the coming years. But I guess you will be staying for OOP in Java and maybe C++. Like most people that I know that studied, they didn't use too many different languages for the same thing. Like for object-oriented multi-purpose stuff, mostly Java or C#, where Java mostly dominates, I would say. And yeah, for other stuff like more hardware near stuff, C++ or C, right? And Python, like for scripting, or maybe AI stuff, something like that. Maybe you will learn a functional language too. Haskell. Never really did dive into a functional programming language. So let's close this one. Let's see, here we have which reg expression engine to use needed for vim reg comp must match with engine. Compile a regular expression into internal code, returns the program in allocated memory. Use vimreg free to free the memory, returns null for an error. So automatic engine. How does selection process work? Which engine we used first? Try NFA engine unless backtracking was requested. So basically it would mean NFA first to try. Let me see. Then line number start column, stop column. Line number. Max line. expression. Let me lift this one a little quick. Not too much of change here. Here I added stop column. This could be an issue. Let's see. Or this one. X. regex input. And this line is bigger than regmax. Back here. If a regex both, match a reg expression against the string. Line points to the string or multiple lines. If line is null, use reg getLine. Stop looking for match. Yeah, thank you for the follow. does this reg multi stands for again? Multi-line regular expression. Which is false in our case, I would say, so we're ending up here. Line number is 0. If the start column is part of the maximum column, no need to try. Bigger 0 and column. So this kind of a strange thing with the regular expressions here. Most of the time, I think we don't really count the line numbers, right? Like first line number. Not sure about this, how this is handled here. So we have this reg multi, we end up here. Setting the max column. The stop column. Top line number, bottom line number. Top and bottom. Returns true if the current reg's input position match the visual area. Okay, but this is here only true when start column. Wait, do we have here line information? Start column, stop column. So we have the line. This is kind of, I'm not sure if we have here something sometimes which contains more than only one line, because here it's like multi-line, right? Relative to the cursor, we get the line. Okay, let's go back. Vim regex multi. So match a regular expression against multiple lines. What do we do here? We have a line number, start column, stop column. So we are here going we loop twice. Step after checking stop line number if it's set. Would be nice to debug this. Not sure if this works with all tests. functional test. Maybe it doesn't make any difference. Let's try this out. Maybe it works. GDB 1, right? So we do make all test GDB equal 1. Move this. Go actually to the search here. Yep. Start the debugger. And we will see if this even stops. So if this works, it should stop the execution of the tests till the debugger attaches, right? So does not seem to work. So I cannot attach the debugger on this tests. It's quite a pity. Be nice to step over. Where was I before? We found this in normal, I guess. Oh yeah, this was that part, current search. This is where we get into this part. Skip first backward. Position after the pattern, position of the cursor at the beginning. And position of the pattern match. Result of the various function calls. So the trick is to first search backwards and then search forwards again, so that the match at the current cursor position will be correctly captured. When forward is false, do it the other way around. So forward search would be, in our case, in our test case, we search forward with gnx. So gn search for the last search keyword, right? And then x kind of deleted. So forward okay, then search it position and end position. Position and end position. So let's see, what do we have here? Option search, message, 0, don't give any messages. Search in the okay, don't give not found messages. Search his, search and put search pattern in history. Oh, so search history, search end, search start, except the match at position itself. So the different options. Lowest level search function. Search for count occurrence of pattern pad in direction directory. There is for not directory, for a direction, right? Started position, pause and return the found position at position. Start at position and return the found position in position. So what do we have here? Current window, current buffer, position and end positions. So why do we have end position? Position after the pattern. So increment and decrement position. Or it will extend the match. Wait, well, when we are passing position and end positions here, this is actually the end position. Did we not pass the original one? It's in this one. Let's see, I'm not sure. But we can the file history again, right? This file. Edge column, stop column. This could be also wrong. 2593. 3593. This marks column. Zero width pattern should match somewhere. Then we can check if start and end are in the same position. What do we do here? Check for zero width. Check if the pattern is zero width. Init start column correctly. Move to match. So I have only the start position, no end position. Pattern length. So we increase the column. Move char by char, right? Till we find something. Even more tests are failing now. So this is definitely wrong here. And it has something to do with this end position stuff here. Because this is the change that I did there. So why it does not set the marks correctly? E20.